Etch-a-Sketch that shit. This is from my daughter. You're thinking, did your daughter come home and say that? No, she didn't. But one of her teachers gave her an Etch-a-Sketch, and I love the concept. I love the idea. So I wanted to share it with you guys, and I think Monday is a perfect time to do that. So you know how sometimes in your life, you guys don't know what an Etch-a-Sketch is, right? Like, I mean, like, I know that we have some youngins on here, but do you remember? Like, it's that little screen. This is what we used to do back before you had like computer games in front of your face, phone games all the time. And you would you have to move the little knobs to get it to draw things, and it's really difficult at first, but every once in a while you start to get to know if you turn left and right, you can do circles, you can do squares, you can do hard cuts. Anybody else? Yeah? Good morning, Dee Dee. How are you? Good morning, Miss Helen. Grandma. Okay, anyway, so that's what an Etch-a-Sketch is, right? Okay, so here's your life. You guys ready? Follow me. Here's your life. You have an Etch-a-Sketch, and you've been drawing, right? And at first it was really sloppy. Like, you were trying something new. It was really sloppy. Like, you're turning the little knobs, like it's going this direction. Like, oh my God, that does not look like the beautiful picture I was trying to paint. Like, it's all over the board, right? And then you started to get pretty good at it, and you started to find your flow, and you started drawing something. And like, maybe you needed to pause because you had to go get a drink, and you needed a snack or something, or you just needed to stretch your legs. And you look at your Etch-a-Sketch, and you're like, what am I drawing? Like, I've been working on this freaking masterpiece for 6 hours and it looks like shit. Like, what am I doing, right? And you, like, this is what the cool part, like, it's an Etch-a-Sketch. So you walk up and you're like, okay, I've invested a lot of time in this drawing. Like, I've invested a lot of time and a lot of effort. I've been doing a lot of things. Good morning, Mercedes, how are you? To put all this effort into this masterpiece I've been creating. But when I step back and I take a look at it, I don't really like it. I don't really like what I was doing. So what do you do when that happens? Good morning, Heather. Do you you're like, I guess I'm just gonna settle because I already put in the effort into it, and even though I don't really like it, I'm just gonna let it be there, right? I'm gonna put it on the wall and display it for my family to see, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, look at that really crappy drawing you did. That's so neat. Good morning, Nikki, how are you? Or are you gonna think, you know what you could do? You could shake that shit. You could shake it. You could, because what happens when you shake an Etch-a-Sketch, guys? Right? So you guys know, you do your little drawing and it's like there, but the second you shake it, the drawing disappears and you are at a clean slate and it's time to start over again, right? So here's the thing. You're like, do I want to shake that shit? Because I put so much time and so much effort into drawing it, but it was a bad drawing. It was a bad drawing, guys. And sometimes that just happens, right? And this is not about an Etch-a-Sketch. Once again, guys, Good Morning Sunshine is generally about our lives. So here's your life, okay? Your life is... John Carroll has Quincy, so he's like, honey, something, and he's gonna call 6 times in a row, but I'll just keep declining until I'm done with this. So your life is the Etch-a-Sketch. Missy, Auntie Catherine, how are you? Jessica, how are you? And you've been creating this masterpiece for 5 years, 10 years, 60 years. I don't know how long you've been working on it, right? And there's different masterpieces in your life, by the way. There's different Etch-a-Sketches in your life, right? You have your health Etch-a-Sketch, you have your relationships Etch-a-Sketch, you have your career Etch-a-Sketch, you have your parenting Etch-a-Sketch, and you've been working on each one of these. Like, you go, during the day, you walk over, you're like, okay, parenting Etch-a-Sketch, and you start working on it. And you're like, okay, career Etch-a-Sketch, and you start working on it. And your relationship Etch-a-Sketch, and you're working on it, right? And when you step back and you take a look at those, and yes, you've been putting a lot of effort in a lot of different ways for a long time, sometimes you look at it and it's crap. Like, it's not the drawing that you wanted. And you were trying. But sometimes you got to curve left and you got to curve right just to make that right bend, but you didn't make it bend and it went the wrong direction and it looks like poo-poo, right? And you're looking and you're like, man, that is not the vision that I have. Like, I've been working on it, I've been working in it, and I feel like I'm doing what I can for my health, but when I step back and look at it and realize, I'm like, wow, that is nowhere near what I was trying to accomplish, right? Even though I feel like I've been putting effort into it. And what do you do when you're at that point? This is the coolest thing about Etch-a-Sketches, right? And it's the same thing about your life. You know what you do? You shake that shit. That's what you do. I don't know why it's better when I say it like that, but it just is. You just shake it, you guys. You shake it, you blank slate it, and you start over with it, right? So when you look at your Etch-a-Sketches that are in your life right now, which ones aren't the best picture for you? And if they're not, then you're gonna have to suck it up, because it's gonna feel yucky, because you're gonna look at it, right? Good morning, Miss Caitlin. And you're gonna look at that one for career, and you're gonna be like, I do not want to shake that. Like, I get it, I see it, I don't really like it. I don't hate it. Like, it just is. It's kind of like, bleh, right? Whatever. But if I shake that shit, like I have to start over. I've been working on that for 20 years. I've been building myself up in that career or whatever it is for 20 years, and I've hated it for the last 15. But if I shake it, I have to start all the way over. That feels uncomfortable, right? The thought of even shaking it, you're like, no, like that makes me want to barf. Because then I have a blank slate. At least now it's full of crap. Like at least there's a picture there. It's not a great picture, but at least there's something, right? And that's, for me, you guys, not a great way to live. It's not. And I get that it's hard to shake that shit, and it's hard to have the blank slate. It's hard to start over in some different things. But you only get the one life. You get the one life with a bunch of Etch-a-Sketch shakes. Okay? You get a bunch of, you can shake it as much as you want. You might shake it and it might be directed somewhere else, and you might be directed somewhere else. But you only get the one to draw the beautiful picture. And to settle for an Etch-a-Sketch that you're not really into kind of just seems sad. You know what I'm saying? So, lesson of the day, my beautiful friends, Jordan, Kevin, how are you guys? Thank you for joining us. Lesson of the day is don't be scared to shake that shit. I mean, it will feel uncomfortable, but like imagine and talk to yourself that level of uncomfortable that you're feeling, treat it as excitement for what's next instead. So if you guys are ready, I always, at the end of these Good Morning Sunshines, I give you something to follow up with, because if you just watch and listen, maybe it'll hit you some way and you'll think about it afterwards. But most of us, we come in, we listen, we're like, okay, yeah, Etch-a-Sketch, and we move on, right? But if you take 5 minutes after the video, just 5 minutes, and maybe this is your time of silence, right? Turn off the radio, turn off the sounds, get off social media for just, give yourself a couple minutes and step back and look at the Etch-a-Sketches in your life, okay? And I want you to just pretend like they're there. Good morning, Ashley, Megan, Eddie, how are you guys? Look at them, okay? See each one of them. Thank you, Michelle. I love your hearts. You are the best, okay? See each one of them. And if there's one, and the drawing seems to be a little off kilter, think about it for a second. What would it be like if you just went up and you shook it? And you shook it till it was like blank slate and you could just draw a new picture, because that's really what's possible for you, right? If you're committed, you're gonna say, I commit to shaking that shit. That's what you're gonna say. Or you can draw the poop emoji, because maybe you don't wanna cuss like me, because I mean, does it add anything to it? Probably not, but whatever. It's my world. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? So let me know if you're committed to shaking that shit, you guys. Thank you for joining me today, this beautiful Monday. I'm excited to talk to you guys tomorrow. I have a big announcement tomorrow morning. So good morning, Melissa. How are you? Do your Good Morning Sunshine. Do all your hearts. Make your commitment. Love your faces. Have a good day. Bye.